Okay.
Okay, we ready to jump in?
Let's do it.
I'm going to share my screen and then we'll see if we get this right. I know I may have to do my, okay.
Breaking news.
Now, of course, it's on the wrong screen and I'm moving it over to the other screen so I don't have to look the other way. So now I got to get to where unshare. Oh, there it is. Stop share. I'm going to start over. You think after 2 years of this, we'd know.
Right.
And
Oh, shoot. Okay.
And of course, it always comes up that way, but now I know how to do that.
Can I just say, I'm actually really here to learn. I have no clue about this subject matter.
So understanding raffle permits. And I got some breaking news for you. Actually, it was kind of nice to have this scheduled in April because on April 1st, there's a new raffle calendar for California. And so now it's going to actually run a calendar year. I got to move you guys back onto my screen because it seems weird to look away from you. And so now for 2023, your normal permit would have expired in August. It's been extended to, if you already have your permit, it's been extended to 12/31 of this year. And then your raffle report will be due by February 1st of 2024. Starting in 2024, they'll accept applications beginning October 1st. And there's some interesting because we're on a fiscal year and the permit now is on a calendar year. So if you hold multiple raffles during the year, so you hold something in the first half of the year and you hold something in the second half of the year, you're going to need within one club year 2 different raffle permits. And then to make it even trickier is if you wish to conduct a drawing after January 1st of any year, but you want to start selling tickets prior to January 1st, you have to register for both years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but it's going to be nice that it's now at least halfway through the year. It'd be nice if they did a fiscal, but we're all on different calendars. So at least it's an improvement from September to August in my books.
Yeah, where did that come from?
Who knows? Somebody somewhere along the line. And so that's the breaking news. And then going into what is a raffle, because I actually get this question a lot. And basically a raffle is any type of lottery where prizes are awarded for people who pay for a chance to win.
Game of chance.
Yeah, it's a game of chance. It's actually it's a form of gambling. And raffles in California are regulated by the Department of Justice. So how do you conduct a legal raffle and protect your club's 501c3? Funds raised must be used for a beneficial or charitable purpose. At least 90% of the gross receipts, aka income, have to go directly to a beneficial or charitable purpose in California. So it has to stay within California. So if you're doing a raffle to send to Ukraine, that's actually not a legal raffle these days. And so that means that all expenses involved can't exceed 10% of the gross ticket sales. And so that means 50-50 raffles are not legal. There is an exception. And because I sat at a Padres baseball game years ago and I'm going, how can they do a 50-50 raffle? And so I'm on my phone looking it up and found out they're regulated by the Bureau of Gambling Control. And so Major League Sports are actually able to do the 50-50 raffle. Big takeaway, tickets cannot be sold, traded, or redeemed over the internet. And you must have a confirmation of your permit approval prior to selling any tickets. What counts as a raffle? So it's anytime you sell a chance to win a prize. If a donation is required to get the ticket, it's a raffle. If you call it an opportunity drawing, but you require the purchase of a ticket, it's a raffle. If you hold a silent auction, sometimes called a basket auction, where you sell the tickets and allow them to drop into the whatever item they want to win. That's a raffle. What's not a raffle? So if all tickets for the drawing are free, solicitation of voluntary donations to the organization are in no way connected to the distribution of tickets, and it's made clear to all participants, that's not considered a raffle. A silent auction where the highest bidder is the winning bidder is another one. That's the difference between a true silent auction and then the auction, what we sometimes our clubs call silent auction, but you drop the tickets. In the first case, a perfect example would be a door prize. So they're coming to the event and you just give them a ticket. It's free. You can't buy extra tickets to get more. This would be, to me, this is where how SI Oakdale, Serapis International of Oakdale can do their Motor Madness, is because you can't buy additional unless you want to, buy 20,000 meals, but because it's tied to, it's just, you get a ticket, you get an entry. When you buy your ticket to the event, it's like a door prize ticket and an opportunity to win other things, but there's not additional tickets sold to win those prizes in that pool of prizes. Does that make sense?
So everybody gets one and you only have one chance to win. You can't buy more to have more chances to win.
Correct.
Right.
Gotcha.
And so why bother with a permit? And I'm speaking to the choir here. You don't want your club members to be charged with a misdemeanor under state law. It could damage the reputation of your club and Serapis International in the Americas, and your club could potentially lose its 501c3 status. And as officers of the club, you could be charged with violating fiduciary rules. And so it would be up to localities to determine whether or not they're going to pursue the charges, but who wants to take the risk? Any questions there? And then, so filing for the raffle permit, and this will get loaded, I believe, on the website. This actually has hyperlinks to it. So you go to the California Department of Justice website, and they have a special section for raffles. And there's a nonprofit raffle checklist. There's a nonprofit annual registration, and it's annual. That's the key. Is just because you applied for it one time doesn't mean you have it for all time. You have to apply every year. You'll need your organization name. This would need to match the records of the state of California, an identification number, and that could be a federal employee number. It could be your state number. It could be your charitable trust registry number. And then you also have to have the Franchise Tax Board's entity status letter. This was something they added a few years ago, and you have to remember they will kick back your application if you don't include that. And I forgot to add on here, and you need to send your $30 check also. And as Loretta knows, we learned through Loretta, we never knew about this 1 year requirement. You must be qualified to operate in California for 1 year prior to applying for the permit. So you guys are eligible now.
Yeah, but we're not going to do it. You can't sell them online, so it's very difficult for us.
Oh, true. But you could do it. You could do something at conference.
Yeah, but we're going to stick with the silent auction.
That works.
It worked very well for us last year. Yes.
And then you don't have to deal with any of this.
And no tickets and no money,
Yeah. And you must receive confirmation of the permit prior to selling any raffle tickets. I'm going to keep saying that one to remind people. And so basically the raffle checklist this is a copy of it. And the biggest thing is probably to make sure that you file all this in time so that you and file your report in a timely manner after the end of the year. And so the application is rather straightforward. Again, the biggest thing is remember that $30 check, because they will kick it back. I have experience, forgot to do that one time. And then you have to provide, you only need one number. So you either need your state charity registration number, your Federal Employer Identification Number, SOS Corp number, or FTP organization number. And then you need to list, and again, this goes back to the 1-year rule, the day that the organization first qualified to conduct business in the state. And the biggest question is always, where do you qualify on your exempt status? And for the most part, it will always be that 23701D. And the final thing is you do need to put in at least a proposed date when you're filing for it. You may end up adding something in afterwards. That's okay. You'll report that when you report out. Charlotte, did you have a question? I can't hear. You're on mute.
Sorry, I was impressed with, I was just playing around. I was like, how do you do those?
Oh, you had animation.
Anyway,
So any
yeah,
questions?
that's so cool. I didn't know you could do that. Is that on, that's,
It's in PowerPoint. And so the next I did give an example because people are kind of baffled by this on the entity status. And again, the link was out on an earlier slide, but you go there, and then the easiest way to do it is have your entity ID, and this is your the state number. To find it, you can do a name search. You're just going to have to probably scroll through a lot of Seroptimus clubs when you do by name. And so I just happened to pull up the regions information, and then just a sample of what the entity status letter looks like. It's going to show if you're in bad standing with the state. What they're looking for is that you're in good standing with Franchise Tax Board and that you currently are exempt from taxes under Revenue and Taxation Code. So that's why they started requiring, rather than, they probably were prior to asking for this, they were probably having to go out and verify with the state that we were eligible, or state and federal, that we were eligible. Oh, let's see. Had a few more animations there. So now we're going to fast forward. The year's gone by. We've had several raffles. You need to fill out one report for all of the raffles you heard that you held during that calendar year. So it could be 2 club years. That's the key here to remember. It could be in 2 different club years. It doesn't matter. You're going to fill out one report for that raffle permit year. So for 2023, you had 3 raffles. But some of them were in 2022. You're still going to fill out. They're going to be included in your 2023 raffle permit for 23, but going forward in 24, it will only be everything done in 24 will be reported on the 24 return that you fill out. And the one hint is you took out your raffle permit, you thought you were going to do a raffle, you never did a raffle, still file your month end or your annual report with them, and just let them know that the raffle was canceled. And then again, the website for the charities, and then this is the link to the actual form for the CTNRP2, which is your nonprofit raffle report. The first part A, is actually just all this, pretty much the same club information that you had off of the that you filed on your permit. And then the second part is where you're going to tell them, what year it was for, what your aggregate gross receipts, which actually is your the aggregate is the total for those 3 raffles you did. You're going to add them all up together. You're not going to report them separately. So your gross receipts are basically the total income you brought in from ticket sales. Your gross expense, which is your total expense of putting on that raffle, that could include your prize. If you didn't get the prize donated or that type of thing, you would include that. Then the next question they're going to ask you is, did at least 90% of the gross receipts received from ticket sales, was that used for a beneficial or charitable purpose? And then if it exceeds 10%, they're asking for additional information because did the organization use funds from sources other than ticket sales to offset the cost? And if so, you're supposed to put the information in for that. So say you had money set aside from last year that you bought the prize with from your like operating fund, and you would just, or somebody donated something for a discounted price to you, you would include the information if you go over that 10%, the 10% expense. You're going to describe what your charitable beneficial purpose for, and this is going to be individual to each club. Is it for your, additional Live Your Dream, or for your Live Your Dream Live Your Dream award program? Is it for your Dream It Be It? Is it for, a scholarship that your club offers to somebody in the community? That's a beneficial type of item. And then the last part of this part is where all or some of the proceeds used to benefit another eligible nonprofit. So if you're making a donation to, if you use those funds to make a donation to, I'm just going to pull out Habitat for Humanity in your community, you would list that information and provide the recipient organization information to them. They want all the information. They want to keep us on the up and up. And then the last part, and this is probably the scariest part when you're filling out this form, and the one that you need to take seriously. And I also, if you're going to set up a raffle, this is a good place to go look and make sure that you can answer all of these questions. Because if you can't answer all of these questions as true, you might want to rethink whether you do a raffle or not. And so, because you're certifying this information. So whoever's filling this out is certifying that at least 90% of the gross receipts went to a beneficial or charitable purpose. None of the funds were used to provide an officer, director, or member of the organization, or to provide, you couldn't use it on anybody involved in the organization. No person involved or connected with the conduct of the raffle is compensated. No gaming machines are used. No individual corporation, partnership, or other legal entity holds a financial interest in the conduct of the raffle. I love this one. No raffle was conducted, or no raffle tickets were sold, traded, or redeemed within an operating racetrack enclosure, satellite wager facility, or gambling establishment. This again is the one that we want to really emphasize after COVID. Tickets were not sold or traded or redeemed over the internet. And the last one was the raffle funds were not used for any purpose outside of California. And so with that, we're done unless you have questions. I tried to think of a way to make it really fun and but how can you make raffle permits fun?
No, you're right. It's a necessary evil.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say they will track you down if you advertise an event on Facebook. And I know this for a fact from experience, work related, not Sir Optimus related, but they will find you.
Yeah.
And it's really actually, I did actually experience this at work. I walked in and like the reports hadn't been filed for 3 years or something. And then we tried to, renew for the next year. And they're like, oh no. But they were really, it was fine. You just have to go through the process and file everything and maybe pay a fine, but it wasn't anything extravagant. So they're easy to work with, but they will know.
Oh, they will. And that's why I was cautioning people during COVID when I was doing the treasurer's workshops and things, not, if you're advertising on Facebook, you need to be really careful about you're not selling tickets on Facebook. You can publicize that you're having it, but you can't sell tickets. They have to contact a real person. They have to be mailed, that type of thing. You can't, say, oh, pay at our PayPal. Now, as an individual, you can kind of do the, use your Venmo,
Right.
but you have to just be, it's because that's a little different than, advertising the link to your PayPal. You can't advertise the link to your PayPal account. I had to call out my club on that when I was treasurer.
Is that true for any, is that true for any fundraiser?
It's true for raffles.
Just raffles. Okay.
Raffles.
Okay.
You can sell tickets to the event online.
Okay.
For a raffle, it cannot be by electronic means.
Online raffle.
Yeah. And I forgot to add, there is a link when you go to that DOJ website. They'll have in the information, they'll have a link where you can go check your club status too. And you can do that any time of the year.
Well, I thought your presentation was very entertaining with all the cool stuff, but I can't get rid of the arrow.
You're memorialized forever. I'm going to
I
encourage every member of this region to watch this video.
My gosh, I'm so sorry. I was like, I can't get rid of it. But anyway, I would love to know how to use PowerPoint. Can you teach a class on that?
I don't know very well. I only learned because I had to do Moxie by the numbers for almost 2 years. For the new CEO came in and he goes, I want you to present numbers to the staff. And then it was like, okay, how am I going to make this exciting and fun and understandable?
That's cool. You
do a lot in PowerPoint. Yeah.
For us squirrely people, like I consider myself a easily distracted person. It is very helpful. I mean, it is.
It kind of, catches your eye and
yeah, it's awesome. Anyway, back to Motor Madness real quick. Our member that's been in charge of that for so many years, Debbie Carrera, she always pounds it into us that it is not our motorcycle giveaway is a door prize.
Yeah.
And she said, if you say raffle, I mean, she's like, you better not say raffle. I better not ever hear you say raffle. She's really hardcore about that, and good for her because she needed to be. Yeah.
And you guys publicized that event really well, and you have not gotten in trouble, so you're doing it the right way.
I apparently so, because it's been going on 30 plus years. Crazy. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, because I'd always try to figure out, now, how are they doing that? And I'm like,
oh,
yeah, you're not buying a raffle ticket for the motorcycle. You're coming to the event and your name it's a door prize.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It really is. You get food, drinks, and then you buy raffle tickets for raffle prizes.
It's different.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So you pay to get into the event.
Yeah.
It's $100, but that gets 2 people
and one name in the drawing.
And one name in the drawing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great job, Charlie. Thank you. I learned a lot.
Yeah, thank you. It's always good to have it.
Can I use this just to ask Nancy a question about Live Your Dream for the conference?
Wait, let's stop the recording.